Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's section of reads. You should be seeing this on the YouTube channel James 13 Wicca, in case you're seeing it somewhere else. Also, the dice and the cards I'm using, they're going to be listed below. Other than that, let's go ahead and move ahead. If you would like a reading from me, of course, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get into yours. Hello, Leo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Leo? Excuse me. Somebody likes you. Somebody likes you a lot. Okay, so I almost feel like some people miss out on the point that Leo does have a big heart. Very active, very bold, but also you guys have a big heart too, you know? So based on what's going on around you, where you want things to go, you'll react as you see fit, based on where you feel the situation needs to go. I don't know why, but I feel like it goes over people's heads sometimes that Leo does have a very big heart and cares deeply for people. I mean, sometimes it takes a minute before they gain that value with you, true. But, you know, you do cherish the people you cherish. Why are we're starting with this? I don't know why yet, but there is somebody in your past that you have distanced yourself from. For whatever reason, there may be some unfinished business there. Okay. This is a weird place to start, but let's go with it. Okay. And you're not even really sure if you like it or if it really even needs to happen this way. That's weird. Maybe this is an energy you used to be really close with at one point. But for whatever reason, something fell apart with it. And it's very... I feel like I'm not happy with how it ended. You've put a lot of distance between you and this other person. I'm getting it's a person. Could be a situational thing, could be a job. But I feel like I'm not happy with how it ended. I'm not really happy with it at all. And I'm not really sure that there's anything I can do to make it better than what it was. It was what it was. Something in this situation in the past just wasn't acceptable to you. It just didn't work for you. And it might have been in the moment you just said what you said and you did what you did and it became what it became and we moved on and that was that. It seems like I'm still looking back like I'm not happy with how it ended. That may be more of a now feeling than then. Maybe at the time you were completely fine with it, but as time has passed, maybe some feelings or thoughts have crept into your brain and you've been like, something about this I just feel like I'm not at peace with. I'm just not at peace with it. So there's a moment coming forward. The current energy, whatever this current energy, well, whoever this was, is, however that goes, I don't see currently a connection there. Is this correct? So you got the Five of Wands and you got the World. And it's kind of like Do I want to start this up again? Because this could be a big argument. This could be a big fight. If I break this silence, if I move towards this energy, is this just going to be a mess? Is it just going to be a mess? And why do that? Is it just going to be a battle, or, you know, I start the conversation or go towards them and then they just find this as their moment to like have it out with me? And if it is, do I need that? Even if that is the case, do I even need that? But I also see, like, it seems like your energy is kind of moving towards, like, if you haven't already, you might do it anyway. Kind of like, you know what, it's just eating at me. Maybe I just need to touch base with this person or situation just to see where I stand currently with them, because it's driving me nuts. And I feel like you're just kind of shaking it up a little bit, kind of like, well, let's see where it is. You got the King of Wands. Don't get caught up in the gender, but this is basically saying you're moving forward, kind of like, all right, let me see what's going to happen now. And they're saying this, you're on the right path. You're following your intuition. You're following your energy. You're on track with where this needs to go. Whether it seems like you should or not, you're on track with, like, because it's like it's bothering you for a reason. They're like, there's something unsolved here, unsettled, unfinished, and it's kind of like, go ahead and get in there and let's see if we can iron this out and finish it up at the very least. There's something here that doesn't sit right. Ironically, the other side is happy to see you, which I don't think you're expecting. They're not saying some stuff, though. Or maybe you're not saying, somebody's not saying something. We're not bringing up a certain subject is what I'm getting, but they're happy to see you. Your card is the Strength card. Sometimes people equate this to your card. I don't equate this to your card, even though the sun rules Leo, I believe. I think that's more astrologically, but I'm getting that, like, this is nice for the moment, but it's kind of like something's not being talked about. I just feel like something's not being talked about. And it's kind of like, it's good, but is it really good? Is this gold or is this fool's gold? Like, I feel like I'm questioning, like, should I have even done this if we're not even going to talk about the issue? Because it didn't end well. And I feel like, where are we going to really go with this? Why are we even bothering with this if we're not going to talk about what went wrong? Okay. So the energy coming in next, it could be the same moment or it could be one after it. Could, like, if you're, for example, maybe it's somebody you haven't seen in a couple of years and you're meeting up with them. Could be the time you're meeting up with them, or could be a couple times after that. Like, I feel like I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it anymore. There's something here that just I need to deal with. This is like all this in front of the person is what's happened. There's something that's clearly keeping the situation alive, but it's kind of like I feel like it's driving me nuts not talking about it. It's kind of like I can't keep doing this. There's no reason to do this if we're not going to iron out or hash out what happened in the past. And there are some possibilities here. This actually goes well, ironically. They seem to be very happy with you for whatever reason. They seem very happy to see you again. So something seems to not be sitting well with you, though. It's kind of like this is going nowhere, but it's nice, but it's going nowhere if we don't talk about what the situation was. You got the Sun card again on the dice, but you got the Two of Pentacles reversed, which is basically saying we can't really keep this. This is like, it's going to pass. It's going to move on. If we don't deal with what the underlying issue is, it doesn't really, it's like going on a quick vacation somewhere and then after the vacation's over, going your separate ways. It's like meeting somebody at a hotel, like maybe like, you know, in a good way, whatever that is for you, and hanging out and having a good time there. But once the vacation's over, that's it. We're done. And it's not really what I feel like you want from this situation. You could try to go into it slowly but surely and try to hash it out piece by piece. I don't see that serving you. Leo's energy is usually quite bold and just, you jump in usually. If you try to do the slow and steady wins the race, try to see if what's going on here, if you just try to go into it carefully, I just don't see it serving you. The other possibility here, because that Ace of Pentacles is just like kind of testing the water. Can we talk about this? Are they ready to talk about this? You know, stuff like that, which sounds respectful, but not really Leo's thing. The other version is to just bring it up. Hey, you remember when this happened and that? Well, what do you think about this? And like, why do you think that happened? And, you know, I did this because I thought that. I'm curious what you thought. I saw you do that, so I did this. But I just wanted to be sure that that was what actually happened. This has just been something that's been bothering me over the years. I thought we could just clear it up. Not everybody's a fan of that way of handling things. You have to decide for yourself if that's right. It's just a possibility. But I'm getting for who you are and how this situation really connects. That's who you naturally are. This person probably expects you to do that at some point. So trying to be somebody that you're not, if that's truly you, if that's truly how you handle things, isn't going to help. Just kind of getting you right in there and just kind of like, you know what, let's just deal with it. Remember this moment where we had this argument here and I said this and you said that and then I did this and you did that and then we didn't talk to each other until just recently? That doesn't sit with me well. I just want to make sure that what I think happened actually happened and you did what you did because of what I think, the reasons I think, and I did what I did and I want to make sure you know why I did what I did. Blah, 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 blah. It's just really just getting right into the nitty gritty. Let's just hash it out. Let's just sort it out. Let's just move through it and just see if there's something salvageable here. I feel like we're fast forwarding it because it's like whether this is like a work situation, a friendship, or even a past romance, could be any of those. I feel like this is one of those things that you're not looking to drag it out for a long time if it's just going to end up in the same spot anyway. And I feel like when you first bring it up, if you go that direction, like you bring forth a lot of energy, and I don't think the other person's going to talk about it at first. This is going to show if this person actually matches your energy or not. Because there's stuff that I think they had or they did that they don't want to deal with or they don't want to admit to. And that might be hard for them to actually deal with some of the stuff that they did at the same time. I feel like this is more about, like, what is the truth here? If this is going to come back together, is it real or is it still temporary? And if it's just temporary anyway, why are we playing it this way? They also want resolution, but I got this 9 of Pentacles with the 6 of Wands, which is success. What is their version of success for this situation? Ace of Cups and the Empress reversed. They're not dealing with something. There's something about this that they just want to let disappear into the past. Ace of Cups is like they really, really do care about you very genuinely. But the Empress reversed is like they don't want to deal with their own baggage in the situation. They just don't want to deal with it. It happened the way it happened, but to them it's in the past, and they want to leave the past in the past. So that coming forward with this, I feel like the whole point of this reading is, after we've gone all this distance, they're going to kind of ask you, like, well, the universe, I'd say, is going to ask you, is this acceptable? If this other person or situation doesn't want to deal with the past and just wants to move on from it, is that something you can do successfully, or is that going to hold you back? Is that something that you're going to be constantly trying to fill this cup and you never seem to be able to? Or is that something where, all right, it is what it is. I've made peace with what I did. They just can't seem to get there with the whole thing. Can you be at peace with that and let it go too? it's let it go one way or the other. Like, they're not going to be able to reach your level on this one, so maybe this is best to just let it go back to where it was. Maybe we're on more friendly terms now, and maybe I solved that part, but the rest of this isn't going to go anywhere. Or, all right, you made peace with what you needed to make peace with here. They're where they are, and that's okay. If they're not going to talk about it or deal with it, if you're at peace with it, they're at peace with it, and you just let it go and continue on to where you used to be. From where you used to be. Before whatever happened. I think that's the question that we're basically, that they're saying that's where it's going to end up. You're going to deal with it. You're going to sort it out. They're really just not. They're just going to kind of skirt around it. They're not going to do it. The question is that a pass or fail for you? Does that create that for you? If they're okay with it and they're all right with leaving the past in the past and moving on, can you be okay with them leaving the past in the past? I feel like you're going to say your piece. You're going to bring out what you need to bring out with it. So you're going to sort out your feelings. You're inviting them to do the same. I feel like you want them to do the same. But I'm getting that they're not going to be able to do that. So is sorting out your feelings, is that going to be enough to let this come back together? That's the question mark. Okay. They seem, by the way, I keep seeing this. They don't need to talk it out. They seem to be at peace with whatever, like the past was the past and they just want to leave it there. It's all about if you can be okay with them having that feeling, having that opinion, having that standpoint. If you're okay with them being like that, like they're completely fine with it, just leaving the past in the past, you got to say your piece, you got to say what you thought, you put everything out there, and they just, I just keep getting they can't match your energy, so they're not even going to try. If you can be at peace with that, it can be fine. I just feel like they're trying to give you a place to stand to see what's happening here so you can make that educated decision. Are you going to keep going forward with it, or are you going to be like, all right, I've solved the side I needed to solve. I talked about what I needed to talk about. They're not going to be able to do that. What do I need to, what does that mean for me? Do I need to move on from this because they can't move forward? Or if that's where they are, as long as they're at peace with it, I guess that's okay. I just keep coming back. Is there anything I'm missing? Because I'm like, I keep coming back to it. Release yourself from it. You're not responsible for how they feel. If you give them an opportunity to talk about it and they can't or don't want to, then it is what it is. You're not responsible for this other energy once you've tried to create healing, once you've engaged it with them. If they can't do that, release yourself from it. You did the best you could, release yourself from it. In the sense of like, don't hold yourself, like don't make yourself feel bad over it. If you can keep a connection with this person and not feel bad about it or this situation, go for it. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.